Alright guys, so today I am showing you guys how to make Haitian macaroni and cheese, aka macaroni au gratin. And these are pretty much all of the ingredients that I am going to use. I already chopped up my vegetables, my red and green bell pepper, along with half an onion. I also chopped up my ham, which is Spam in a can. And then the macaroni that I am using today is Rigatoni. Excuse me if I pronounced it wrong. I already have my water on, so I'm gonna go ahead and add 1 whole box. Let me add my salt to the water first. Alright. Or actually, before I even add this, I'm gonna get started on the sauce. I only like to get started on the sauce because I don't like my pasta to be extra soggy or extra soft. So I'll add my pasta when I'm almost done with the sauce. So let's get started with that. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and add my oil. Don't need that much. My oil is pretty much finished, but it's okay. And then what I am going to add now to the oil are my vegetables. It doesn't matter what order you add them in. I'm going to put my stove on medium heat. Alright, and because I didn't have a lot of oil, I'm going to add some butter to it. Not too much, just a little bit. Alright, and then just allow that to cook in your oil. And then you want to keep an eye on it so it does not get burnt. So as that is heating up and getting ready to cook, I'll show you guys what it looks like after it's actually cooked. Alright, so it is pretty much as cooked as you want it. Alright, then I'm going to go ahead and add my ham to this now. Hopefully this pot is big enough. The other one is occupied right now. Alright, and then same thing. Just allow the ham to cook in the heat a little bit. But as it is getting ready to cook, I'm going to go ahead and add my seasoning. I'm going to add my Haitian seasoning, my Haitian epis. If you're not Haitian, of course, and you don't use epis, then just scratch this part out. It really won't make a huge taste difference. It really won't make a huge taste difference. So it is perfectly okay if you do not use Haitian epis. And then the other thing that I'm going to go ahead and add is garlic salt. I don't measure. I just go from the top of my head and then taste it as I go. Alright, and then I'm going to add half a Maggi. right, and then you just want to make sure that you mix everything in there. Can you give me that, please? I don't know where's the red cloud. After you clean the kitchen, it just disappeared. All right, and then you just want to mix everything in there. Make sure that the seasoning really gets in there. And then of course, if you want to add your own seasoning, but this is the base, it doesn't need too much taste to it. You don't need to add too much seasoning to it, I mean. If you just add these simple ingredients, it will give you the perfect taste of Haitian macaroni. Alright, and then you just want to make sure you keep washing it so it doesn't get burnt. And then I do have my stove on medium heat. Alright, and then I'm going to put my stove on low to medium heat now. And then I am going to go ahead and start my cheesy sauce. Or actually now, since I've already started this process, I'm going to go ahead and add my pasta to the water. Alright, so your first ingredient is evaporated milk. Based on how much pasta you are making is the amount of evaporated milk that you want to use. And this is what makes it a lot more creamier too. I'm gonna add 2 evaporated milk into my 1 box. Of course, if I were to be making half of this box, then I would go ahead and just use 1 evaporated milk. And I still have my stove on medium heat. Alright, and you just want to spin it all in there. I've seen where people have actually made this process, the cheesy process, separate from this, but it actually really doesn't make a huge difference, to be honest with you, because you're gonna mix it anyways. All right, and then now I am going to go ahead and add my cheeses. First cheese that I am going to add is my Laughing Cow. I'm going to add 4 in there.
And this cheese is really creamy, so it's perfect for this recipe actually. And my stove is still on medium heat.
And then keep in mind, with Haitian macaroni, or with Haitian food period, people will make it a little different. That's just with cooking period. People will make it a little different, but the basics are always the same. So you might find that someone likes their Haitian macaroni a little spicy, so they'll add pepper. like spicy, but because my kids are going to be eating it, I'd rather just keep the spicy out. So you just want to keep mixing it in until your cheese melts. My stove is still on medium heat. I'm just gonna break it down just to make the process a little faster. You just want to keep mixing it in there really well. You're going to see that some of the cheese is not breaking down all the way yet, but that's okay. As you keep mixing and your stove is on hot, it will break down. So I'm going to add my other cheese. This is a mild cheddar cheese. I'm going to use about, let's see, half of the bag. And then as you go, you'll know if you want to add more cheese or not. Alright, so this is actually more than half of the bag. Alright, and then the other cheese that I'm going to add is a Colby and Monterey Jack cheese. Same thing. I'm going to use about half of the bag. Because you do want to save some cheese for the top of your macaroni, to coat your macaroni before you bake it. Alright, and of course, if I feel like I need to add a little bit more cheese, then I have those on the side. But right now, you just want to keep mixing it to get the creamy sauce that's going to go onto the macaroni. I'm going to add a little bit more of the mild cheddar cheese and just leave about this much for the top. So when I'm baking it, I mean. And then I'm going to use a little bit more of the Monterey Jack cheese. Only because I want the sauce to be really cheesy. And my stove is still on medium heat, so you just want to keep mixing in. This is probably the longest part of making the macaroni, but it's really well worth it. Alright, and then you don't want to forget your pasta. Just check it. Make sure that it's cooked to your liking. And I'm going to let it cook for maybe about 5 more minutes. And then what I am going to do is, this part is not necessary at all. I'm going to add a little bit of butter so that my pasta doesn't stick together when I drain it and when I let it sit. Alright, so I'm gonna allow that to sit for about 5 minutes, and then my sauce is ready, and that's what it looks like once you mixed all your cheese in there. Alright, and then I'm gonna go ahead and actually turn off my stove since my pasta is almost ready. And then once I drain my pasta, I'll show you guys what the mixing process looks like. Okay, so this is my pasta. I went ahead and I drained it, and I'm gonna go ahead and just add my sauce now. I'm gonna just add a little bit first and then mix it in there. Okay, I'm gonna add the rest. Don't be afraid to add sauce, because keep in mind this is what makes it Haitian mac and cheese. Some people like their Haitian mac and cheese a little dry. So if you're one of those people, then of course you're not going to add as much cheese or as much evaporated milk. And if you're one of those people that like their mac and cheese creamy, then you're going to add more cheese and more evaporated milk. And if you don't hear this sound, this like wet smacking sound, then your mac and cheese is probably not going to come out bomb. Alright, and then now what I am going to do is add some mayo in there. Not a lot, about this much. And then what I am also going to do is add some yellow mustard in there. Literally like a little bit. You're not going to taste it in there because you're just going to mix it in. It's just going to give it a little bit of flavor. Alright, about that much. And then you just want to mix it in. Make sure it all gets in there. And really mix it in. Alright, and then you want to taste it. Make sure it's not missing anything. Alright, and it's pretty much good, but I am going to add just a little bit more of garlic salt. And then mix it in again. And while I am mixing, I forgot to tell you guys that I do have my oven preheating at 350. pretty much good. So we're gonna transfer over to the other side so we can add it to the pan. Please excuse this pan. It's really clean. It just went through a lot. All right, I'm gonna add the first half. And then add the second half to it. I believe this is a 11 by 14 pan, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me though, I might be wrong. Alright, you want to make sure you get everything, all of your ham, your vegetables, all your cheese. Get it all. Alright, you just want to spread it out onto the whole pan. Alright, and then now with the rest of the cheese that we're using, I'm gonna go ahead and just coat the top. Some leftover cheese, so 1 second. Alright guys, so this is my Haitian mac and cheese. I did poke a fork in there just to kind of make sure that it's the substance and consistency that I want. And it is. I'm going to plate it and show you guys what it looks like really quick.